Pratap and Shraddha settled in the kingdom near the warriors' alliance. Despite being expelled from his village, Pratap remained loyal to the empire and became the commander of the warriors' alliance, one of the kingdom's major powers. Over the years, neither Kautilya village nor the Shalv family bothered Pratap. After his powerful outburst, they understood his strength. Although Pratap once tried to contact his family, they refused to talk to him, driven by their ego. Disheartened, Pratap gave up and focused on his family of two, which was soon to become a family of three. Meanwhile, the Heavens tribe persistently attempted to bring down Pratap, but their efforts proved futile. In the process, they even lost one of their most formidable warriors to Pratap. Instead of weakening him, this only elevated Pratap's status as a savior, much to the Heavens tribe's frustration. Realizing their failure, they temporarily retreated, understanding that defeating Pratap wouldn't be easy, especially since he had formed alliances with warriors from other kingdoms. Just when it seemed like the Heavens tribe would be vanquished, disaster struck. During a night when everyone believed the borders were secure, a sudden and devastating attack occurred. The warriors' alliance, where Pratap held a prominent position, fell victim to a surprise infiltration. In the blink of an eye, chaos ensued, and nearly everyone in the alliance was ruthlessly slaughtered. Upon receiving the distressing news, Pratap swiftly secured his wife, directing Markesh to move her to a safe location. Hastening to the warriors' alliance, he arrived too late, finding a gruesome scene of blood and lifeless bodies that shook him to the core. Amidst the tragedy, he discovered a note, a cruel message from the assailants. Pratap, you may be a hero to many, but heroes often face betrayal from those closest to them. We are coming for you and your wife. Save yourselves if you can. Fury consumed Pratap as he clenched his fist tightly, and he was ready to pursue the Heavens tribe when he noticed an old man on the verge of death, wounded but still breathing. Rushing to his side, Pratap offered the man some water. Pratap, the man rasped, coughing. Elder, don't try to talk. Just drink this water. I'll get you to safety, Pratap insisted. The elder, however, shook his head. Don't bother. I know my time is short. I also understand what's on your mind. But don't go after the Heavens tribe. Save your wife and your unborn child. Run away. Pratap stared at the elder. What are you saying? How can I not? Those monsters not only killed adults, but also women, elders, and even a newborn. No, they will pay for it. I will make them suffer. The old man gripped Pratap's clothes. Do you know why they spared no one, even a newborn? He asked. Pratap's expression tightened as the old man continued. A few years ago, while the Heavens tribe was busy slaughtering and conquering the north, a great sage from the north made a prophecy. It foretold the birth of a child in the Virat kingdom in the east, destined to bring down the entire Heavens tribe. The child would be chosen by the real Heavens, unparalleled in the world, and would deliver justice to all. Since then, the Heavens tribe shifted their focus towards the east, particularly the Virat kingdom. Pratap, saving your child should be your top priority. He is the future, the old man explained. Upon hearing this, Pratap furrowed his brow and his heart raced. Are you suggesting that the child is my son? He asked. The old man slightly smiled. Even I don't know for sure, but what I know is that if I have to put my hope on someone, then it will be you, the old man said, and eventually his breathing became rapid. But Pratap, leave me here. Do as I say. Save yourself and your family. Pratap slightly nodded but stayed there as the old man took his last breath. He took a deep breath upon getting up and looked in two directions. One led towards the Heavens tribe and another led towards his family. He clenched his fists tightly and finally made his decision. At the same time in Kautilya village, 3 people were sitting in their house discussing something. They were Pratap's family, and the news of Pratap's betrayal had reached them too. Dad, are we really not going to help Big Brother? Mira asked with a worried expression on her face. Viraj, her father, shook his head. We can't. Pratap chose to betray us, and we already disowned him, he replied. Nitya was in tears. This is all the fault of that woman. She bewitched my son, and look what happened, she cursed. Mira shook her head. Dad, Mom, I don't think it's that big of a deal. He is being punished only because he took the freedom to love. We can... Stop. We can do nothing. We will do nothing, Viraj interrupted. The village chief has said that he will expel anyone who tries to help Pratap. Besides, Pratap didn't care for what we wanted. He chose that path, and then he can walk on it. And you two better forget and move on. Viraj said his piece sternly, got up and left. Mira didn't want to accept this, but with no choice, she agreed to follow the command of the village chief and the decision of her parents. A few days later, inside a castle, a warrior clad in armor walked to a man sitting on his throne, accompanied by some other men who looked high and mighty. The warrior knelt down on one knee. Your Highness, it's done. We can take action now. As planned, he got betrayed and is left all alone. Intel has it that he was seen on the outskirts of the Virat kingdom, he informed. The man sitting on the throne smirked. Finally, summon the army and leave immediately. I want his head. The bastard has given me enough losses. The warrior bowed and left, while the man on the throne couldn't stop smirking. Pratap, what will you do now? I can't wait for your death, he said, laughing along with the others. Meanwhile, on the outskirts of the Virat kingdom, Pratap, Shraddha, and Markesh were there. While the men had solemn expressions, Shraddha was sobbing uncontrollably. Shraddha, you will have to leave, or none of us will survive, Pratap said, wiping her tears. Shraddha held his hand. But how can I leave you here alone? She asked, choking on her voice. Perhaps this is fate, Shraddha. Our allies betrayed us for greed. Regardless, our child shall live, and for that, you will have to leave this place. Pratap turned and looked into the distance, then back to Shraddha. They are approaching. I can feel their auras, he said with a troubled expression. Markesh, wherever you end up, protect my wife and child at all costs, Pratap ordered, while Markesh nodded and shed tears. Just then, they all saw a huge army marching towards them. Pratap, please listen to me and come with us. I can't live without you, Shraddha pleaded. Pratap shook his head, smiling bitterly. I can't. I will have to stop them. I can't let anyone follow you to the other world. And you will have to live, Shraddha, for our son. You will have to live, Pratap said. He kissed her forehead and stepped back. I will always love you. Take care. This is goodbye, Pratap said, performing some hand seals. And then a violet light shot up in the sky, covering both Markesh and Shraddha. No! Shraddha struggled to come out, but the light disappeared, and there was no sign of Shraddha and Markesh. Pratap sighed and muttered, This world will wait for your return, son. Maybe I won't be around when you come back, and that will be my only regret. On the other hand, the soldiers of the Heavens tribe looked at Pratap, and their commander sneered. Ha! What an opportunity to find you all alone by yourself. I will surely enjoy beating you to death, he mocked. Pratap did not respond, neither did he turn back. He just looked into the distance with a sense of loss in his eyes. However, the commander was angered seeing Pratap ignoring him. Attack him, he ordered his soldiers. Around 50 soldiers stepped forward with their spiritual energy surging. All kinds of weapons condensed and shot towards Pratap. The power those weapons carried was terrifying. Pratap still didn't look back, which made the commander sneer even more. He smirked, looking at the scene, already imagining Pratap getting torn into pieces. Just as they were about to hit Pratap, a golden-colored shield formed around him, absorbing all the weapons. Pratap was totally unscathed. All the attackers were shocked to see this, and Pratap finally turned to them, his eyes calm and fearless. From now, my only target is to kill the Heavens tribe and its followers, he said, and a sword condensed in Pratap's hand. He injected it with his spiritual energy. The sword buzzed, and a powerful aura radiated from it. My turn, Pratap said, swinging the sword at those attackers, releasing a sharp arc. Protect yourselves, the commander shouted, and they all formed shields. However, the energy released from the sword was horribly strong. The sword arc broke through their shields and swept past all of them. The commander's eyes widened as his shield got shattered, and the next moment, a round red line formed on his neck, and his head rolled down. One by one, the same happened to the other attackers, and they all collapsed dead in just one attack from Pratap. Dare to challenge me with this power? Looks like the Heavens tribe is looking down on me, Pratap said, looking ahead to see more and more soldiers rushing at him. More fools, Pratap shook his head. Once again, his sword erupted with spiritual energy. Pratap ran towards them, jumped up, and again swung his sword, releasing a horrifying sharp arc that swept past the whole field. 24 years later, on a cold night in Aarohi, Kashmir, a guy knelt down, looking battered and beat up. His body trembled with fright as blood trickled down his face. The soldier in front of him, Major Sandeep Sharma, remained stoic. "You say you know what you have done, and you still expect me to spare your life? Let me ask you, did you think before you and your companions took the life of over 500 people?" His voice was so cold and deep that the guy shivered uncontrollably. He realized if he didn't do something, then his death was certain. With that thought, he used his last trump card. "Major, you probably don't know me. My name is..." He began speaking but was interrupted. "I very well know who you are. You are Man Azad, a spokesperson for Kashmir People's Party," the major said, cutting him off. "Since you know who I am, then, you should know what's good for you. And let me go. I promise I won't bring this matter to the higher-ups," said Azad with hope and a bit of relief on his face. The guy in front of him was a major in Indian Army, a commando in 10 para-special forces. His name was Sandeep Sharma. Sandeep looked at him as if he was looking at a clown, and he spoke. "So what if you are some spokesperson of some party? With the authority I have been provided and the crimes you have committed, I wouldn't care even if you were the chief minister of the state. You know what it's time I rid Mother Earth of one more burden?" Sandeep pointed his gun and pulled the trigger. Bang! With that sound of gunshot, Sandeep sent the bullet through Azad's head as he dropped lifeless with his eyes wide open. Like he couldn't believe the outcome. He couldn't believe the soldier didn't care that he was affiliated to a powerful political party of Kashmir and just shot him dead. Sandeep put his gun away, and just then there were footsteps behind him. "Major!" Sandeep turned around to see his team coming towards him, and they all looked worried. They all were commandos too, and leading that team was Captain Akash, Major Sandeep's right hand. Akash looked at Sandeep and took a breath of relief. Then he and others saluted. "Sir, you should not have followed him here alone. It could have turned dangerous," he said. Sandeep just shrugged it off. "I couldn't care less if it was dangerous, but he had to die," he said, pointing to the corpse behind him. Akash looked at the dead body of Munazad and ordered the soldiers to take it away. "Sir, Chief has summoned us." Sandeep nodded, and they both sat in a military jeep and drove off to the base.